I'm Inger Weibust. I'm a professor at the Norman Paterson School of International Affairs. My research deals mostly with environment and governance, focusing on environmental regulation. A few years back I put out a book, Green Leviathan, which examined environmental policy in several federal systems. And one of the cases was Canada, and the European Union was a case as well. The book also incorporated Switzerland and the United States. What I concluded from that work was that in all of these federal systems, as federations became more centralized, their level of environmental protection became more stringent. Canada is a particularly interesting case here because Canada is the outlier. Environmental policy in Canada has remained very decentralized, and I argue that our level of protection is therefore relatively lower. So, for example, there are fewer regulations by the federal government for the environment than there are for the European Union in terms of the European Union directives. My work has continued to expand these themes of governance. I have a book coming out with Edward Elgar, and it focuses on, it's an edited volume, focusing on how federations deal with allocating the constraints involved in trying to cut greenhouse gas emissions, but also allocating water resources in rivers. And the cases that we're looking at there are the European Union and Canada, again, and also the United States and Australia. And my own chapter in the book deals with river water allocation and dispute resolution, comparing Canada, the US, and the European Union. And the area is most developed in the United States because there's a large body of laws and ongoing litigation over the matter. In Canada, the issue has not yet become critical, but the South Saskatchewan River is an interprovincial river, and it's already very heavily allocated to irrigation, and with climate change it's quite likely that it's going to face a lot of pressures for the allocation of that river. And it's not clear that the informal agreement between the provinces that exists now will be sufficient to resolve disputes between provinces, and there's little indication that that agreement will be enough to protect in-stream uses and protect ecological values. My very latest project is looking at information regimes in federal systems again, and Canada and the European Union are going to be prominent in that work. What I'm proposing to do is to look at efforts at benchmarking in federal systems, or efforts to share information for the purposes of policy learning. So from the European Union, one example there would be the open method of coordination. On the Canadian side, the kinds of examples I would be looking at would be the Canadian involvement in the PISA assessments on education, and also the Canadian Institutes of Health Information.
Yeah,